And after that 1 year, you won't be able to buy this anymore.
A few weeks of content, and I'm thinking this might possibly turn into a hi-fi review channel.
In 2016, I started reviewing headphones.
So the real question is this any substitute for an actual DAC and amp combo?
There was something fun about trying new things, hearing sound in different ways, and always searching for that one thing that would be perfect. Over my years of reviewing headphones, there's a lot of little things that I've nitpicked about, things that have bothered me that a lot of different products do, and so I decided to create something for myself. A headphone that would avoid all of the flaws I typically find in other headphones, all of the various deal breakers, so to speak. And little did I know that would be the birth of Project Omega.
Spring comes like it's something in the air at that time. Don't know why. Always dream of you when spring comes. It's like the heat on my skin takes me back to the time met you on a Friday, halfway out at the door of the club, playing soul on the weekends, stayed in bed till Wednesday.
So why do I call it Project Omega? Why does it look like this, and what's the details? Well, it looks like this because it's made out of nylon through a process called selective layer sintering, but there's also machined components. There's laser cut components, there's parts that come off of a lathe. But the goal is to make this headphone as light as humanly possible while still retaining a very specific internal structure. SLS is the only way that I could feasibly do that. Injection molding wouldn't work, FDM 3D printing wouldn't work. It had to be SLS. But luckily, SLS is light and it's durable. Like many materials, it will take surface scratches, but the structure itself will hold up. I'm sure you notice this one looks a little bit different from the one in the video. That's because this is serial number 001. This is the first production model Omega before I updated the headband, and I made this one for myself. The reason is the shoemaker's son has no shoes. If I didn't make this one for myself, I would never end up with one. So Omega is designed to be light, it's designed to be durable, it's designed to hit a specific target response, which is diffuse field with a 10 decibel downward slope from 20 to 20K, which makes this very similar in frequency response to things like the HD6XX, but with more bass extension, more soundstage, deeper pads, and a little bit more treble extension. Given how much I love the 6XX, I would say this is a good thing. The backside of the driver is completely exposed as it needs to be for the way this is designed, which is to be as low of acoustic impedance as I could possibly get it for the driver on both sides. There is no big front damping material or anything like that. The hollow internal structure of the SLS chassis also helps achieve the tuning I was going for. In fact, everything down to where the serial number is placed is all part of the tuning. Now, I'm not going to claim that you can hear God out of this thing. I'm not going to claim that it's the best thing that's ever happened, because honestly, I think a lot of that stuff is silly. If you like it, you like it, and if you don't, you don't. I hope that you like it, because I love it. But there's more to the project than just that. You see, this headphone I'm only going to sell for 1 year. And after that 1 year, you won't be able to buy this anymore. At least not for me. At the end of that year, I'm going to open source the design and put all of the specifications on the internet. The files that I use for manufacturing various components, how they're made, a whole guide on basically how these things are built. Now, it takes a lot of machinery to build this. Machines that do SLS are like 20-something thousand on the cheap end. CNCs aren't cheap either. But I highly anticipate there will be people who adapt this design. In fact, I already know of some people who are designing a 3D printed headband assembly for it just for fun. When this design is open sourced, anyone can take it and do whatever they want with it. But I also plan to have replacement parts for this, as long as I have stock, and I plan to have a good bit of extra stock. I like tech that is repairable, tech that is designed to last a long time. And my hope is that the people who get Omega will keep it as long as humanly possible. But again, why the 1-year limit? And why am I open sourcing it? Well, I don't want to be a headphone manufacturer. This is a project, hence the name Project Omega. Sure, I hope the thing is profitable, but I also want to gain a better understanding of what it's like to be a manufacturer, the struggles that they face. And my hope is that after that year, it will make me better as a reviewer. Already as it is, I understand significantly more than I used to about manufacturing costs, build materials, customer support, the cost of logistics. It adds up a lot. And pricing this headphone at $999 US is as cheap as I could feasibly do it. A lot of that comes down to the costs of customer support, logistics and distribution, warrantying the headphones, getting a hold of quality components like this driver, which is a pretty well-known driver, is pretty reliable. The pads, which are made by Deconi, so if you ever need replacement pads, these are the Deconi LCD suede pads. The actual machining of various components, the tooling associated with that, the labor of them being assembled, and so on and so on. I worked on this headphone for about 2 years. The ear cups themselves are symmetrical. You'll notice there's 3 holes on either side, and that's because you can tilt them either way in the assembly. This way, we manufacture one part to get 2 sides. In fact, one of the biggest learning curves I had was manufacturing for repeatability, dealing with unit variation and things like that. That was really, really tough. And honestly, I'm a little bit terrified. Stepping into the audio space with a product in my hands to be judged is, well, anxiety-inducing if nothing else. This is putting myself on the other side of the table, open to the criticism of all my peers. And criticisms I hope they give. The first big batch I'm manufacturing of these, I plan to build extra units and send them around on a tour to all your favorite reviewers. Big and small, I want to know what everyone thinks about this thing. Now, there's 2 other things I want to cover in this video. One is how I manage being a reviewer and still doing this, and then after that I want to talk a little bit about the sound of it. So outside of this video, I will not be talking about the sound of this headphone or comparing it to other headphones. I just think that's fair because I review headphones for a living. In fact, there's a lot of headphones at this price point, a lot of which I recommend very, very highly, and will continue to do so. So if you want to hear opinions on this thing and hear comparisons to other headphones, you'll have to go check out other reviewers, because I just don't feel right comparing my own creation to other headphones. Like, that definitely would have a bias, right? So I'm not going to be doing it. I will put out pieces every now and then where fellow creators and other people are getting to try this headphone. I will talk about it on Twitter, like when different batches of it are being released. Like the time this video is going live, you can actually get this at the link in the video description. Before you do that, though, I would like for you to hear about how it sounds, which we'll get to in just a moment. The other side of this is if there's manufacturers that don't want me to cover their products while this is being sold, I'm okay with that. I get it. Most of the manufacturers that I've showed this to, the guys at Sennheiser, the guys at Warwick, a lot of others, they've been really excited about it. They've got to hear it. They think it's really cool. And I'm really thankful for the support of those guys. I gave a set of these to Zach at ZMF. He's a super cool guy. I hang out with him at the Can Jam shows. He asked that during the 1 year where I'm selling this headphone that I don't review ZMF products. And I understand that. So during the year I'm selling this, I won't be reviewing his stuff. I'll still mention it in passing every now and then. I mean, Atrium is right there on my wall, and I use Atrium all the time. I love that headphone, but out of respect for his wishes, you will not be seeing a full review during that time period. Another thing to note is I'm not putting a budget into marketing this headphone, so there will not be ads running on other channels, there will not be any sponsored videos or anything like that around this headphone. It's just going to be demo units passed around that people can try, word of mouth, and that is it. This headphone is being sold exclusively through headphones.com. If they want to run their own ads, they can, but I personally am not. What is the warranty like? This comes with a 1-year warranty for manufacturer's defects. If you have a problem with this headphone outside of warranty, it's going to be very easy to get a hold of replacement parts. Even when it gets to the point where this is no longer in production after the year is over, and assuming that I somehow go through the backlog of extra parts that I have, there will still be ways to get a hold of extra parts for this, and people I know who will be producing extra parts for this headphone. But if you're a DIYer like myself, you can also look online, take the designs, and fabricate them yourself. I'm sure you can tell I am really an open source nerd. Now let's talk about the sound. Frequency response wise, which you can see here on screen, this is similar to an HD6XX, but with more bass extension. You get more sub bass, you get more soundstage out of it. It's definitely wider and less intimate. A number of the people I've spoken to have also said this is more detailed sounding and a little bit more balanced, but the tuning also changes more than that one does, especially if you put it on high output impedance amps and OTL amps. For example, if I put this on a dark voice, I get about 4 or 5 decibels more in the sub bass. Now, you can get the same effects by just plugging this headphone into an impedance adapter. Just a resistor between the headphone and your amplifier will increase the sub bass and lower the treble a little bit. The higher the value of the resistor, the more of this effect that you'll get. And since this headphone is 32 ohms and very sensitive and easy to drive, adding a resistor to it on most modern amps means you're still going to be able to drive them really easily. The rig I use to measure these is the Care 4128C. Now, there's other rigs out there. There's the Gross 43AG, there's Care 5128C, there's the HMS rigs, and so on. I use the Care 4128C because its pinna is very close to the population average head-related transfer function. And for those asking, the diffuse field with a 10 decibel downward slope target is a similar bass-treble balance to things like Harman. With this slope, it's a bit closer to the response you would get of speakers in a room, being a little bit warmer leaning on the bass. Still having nice and full mid-range, still having plenty of treble, but definitely not leaning dark. And ideally not leaning bright either. This is designed to be a very, very neutral sounding headphone with impressive dynamics, bass response, detail, stage comfort, and so on. I really pulled out all the stops. This was like my maximum effort trying to make as good of a headphone as I humanly possibly could. I don't think that headphones should be heavy when they're on your head. I think they should be light, I think they should be comfortable, I think they should be easy to fix. And I think they should sound extremely neutral. If you want some flavor on top of that, you can throw them on a tube amp. You can throw a little bit of EQ on there. Do whatever it is that you want. And this is your lightweight blank canvas to start with. And for me, it's my love letter to audio. To the people that buy Omega, I really hope that you enjoy it. I appreciate the support, and I'm really, really happy that this is a point I've been able to get to in this hobby. This is not a collab, this is a from the ground up product, and it's part of my dream to do this at least once. And once that year is over, we'll wrap up the project. I'll make a video and we'll look back on how this year went. As of right now, the pre-order page is live. These are made to order, so once you pre-order the headphone, we start making your unit. Assuming we don't get flooded with a bajillion orders, it takes about 3 months to build each headphone. So when you order it, you can expect to get your headphone about 3 months after that. And this made-to-order system will continue for the duration of that 1 year. A little fun fact also, Omega is the name of a boss in a Mega Man game that absolutely kicked my ass. Mega Man Zero for Game Boy Advance. Great game. So that's really it. That's Project Omega. This is one of the most proud moments of my career. I can't wait to see what you guys think. If you want a chance to hear it, I will have these headphones at Can Jam SoCal. I'm also going to be sending a pair to someone at Can Jam Dallas, so hopefully there'll be some people around there that you can check them out with. And of course, I'll be sending these on a couple of demo tours. Outside of that, I think it's time that we open up the gates, and I will catch you guys in the next video. So if you like this video, leave a like down below. Comment letting me know what you want to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can hit the Discord or the forum, both available at the link in the video description. As always, don't forget to stick around and subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Till next one, guys. Peace.